Ready. Play.
So, Andreas, welcome to Talking Tennis. Looking forward to speaking to you today about a range of issues. But first of all, Andreas, tell us, what are you up to these days?
Well, then I'm involved with tennis, running a couple of challengers in Guayaquil and a couple of junior tournaments, and running a tennis academy. So it's pretty much still involved with tennis. I haven't given the tour a try or a real try as a coach, but I'm okay right now. I'm fine with the way things are going.
What about coaching, Andreas? You said that was something you tried, but how do you feel about it?
And it's hard living in Ecuador to go, because every time you go, you're gonna have to go a couple of months, and that's just too long for me. I can go at times, like 3 4 weeks, 3 4 maybe, depending. It's a moment. Haven't heard something that I really caught my attention to do it, and I played 16 years on the ATP tour. I played another 15 on the senior tour. So I did my share of traveling, and I'm happy staying home.
Tell us about your career. I want to get to the journey, basically, that led to winning the French Open in 1990. Tell us about the years before that. Was the French Open the tournament that you most look forward to, and this was the one that you thought you had the best chance at finally getting over the major hurdle?
Well, yes, because coming from South America, clay was the preferred surface. Although in Ecuador, we played a lot on hard courts too. And at my club, we had both. So I was used to playing in both. But I don't think it's just the while I was on the tour, I started learning different scenes and new scenes all the time. Scenes that probably weren't part of my junior career. I wanted to. My head was more inclined to going to college and play college, get graduation, and then give the tour a go. Mainly, that was the reason why being so close to America, and most of the better players of the world at the time were coming from America. Most of them were going through the college system, so it seemed correct to do it that way. But even then, I wasn't really thinking, I want to be a professional like now, like kids do now. I had a very nice junior career in South America, then played internationally too, bigger tournaments, had a few good wins that are starting to get me to, oh, okay, maybe, these guys are doing this, maybe I can do it, on our last year in the juniors, Lendl was number one. Only lost one match, and that match he lost it to me. And time I played him, and so I say, okay, this is the number one. He's very good, but if I do things differently, maybe I can get into that. So once I graduated from school in Ecuador, my last year of the juniors, I didn't have enough money to go to play the French or Wimbledon, so I stayed in the States and played the junior tournaments in America, played the nationals, being foreigners, and went to this tournament in California where I reached the round of 16s, and all the colleges coaches were there, and and some very good names, and so that's when I started to look into more into going to one of the big schools, USC or UCLA or Stanford or one of those, and because some of the players there were going there, and and I was with them. So I did a more juniors tournament that year. Played U.S. Open, played Orange Bowl, lost in the quarters at U.S. Open, lost second round at the Orange Bowl. Made my debut on Davis Cup, and took Clerc to 4 sets. Clerc was 10 on the war at the time, and so I took him to 4 sets and a close match, and I said, okay, maybe this, I need to play a little more. So assigned to play at USC in California, University of Southern California, and to get in September of 1979, and that was going to be the day I had to go to college. So at the beginning of that year, I started playing some satellites, and I played a pre-quali, went through the pre-quali, got a walker in the qualis, qualified, and won the first tournament. And there were a few guys there that were like 80 and 90. Back in those days, those players used the satellites to get some matches and then going into the tournament. So remember that the Australian Open at the time was in December, so the year finished in December, and January was a year where most of the guys were just coming off the preseason, needed some matches, but those tournaments in Florida were real tough. And then again, okay, so these guys are very good, and in the qualis, I beat 3 guys that were ahead of me in the juniors, number 2, number 4, and number 7. In the juniors, I beat them one after another in the qualis, and then I said, my God, this is a different world completely. Juniors is one scene, men's is a complete different story. So. There was we got an opportunity. I used to practice at Harvey Hoffman's, and he took care of me, and had me in the academy. I practiced there, and I moved basically from Ecuador to there. When we were there, a company from France, Rossignol Rackets, were coming into the market, and they needed some young players to develop, and one of them, Mr. Hoffman, mentioned my name, mentioned the name of Raul Rivera. We both went with a very young coach to Bob Brett at the time. He was, 26. I was 19. And we went with him to Europe, and had a ranking, and Raul had a ranking, so we could get into the quality. So we got to Florence first, and qualified, lost to Ramirez, who was 7 in the world. Then the next week we go to the Italian, and we got late into signing into the quali, so we didn't get in. And back then, Italian, you had to win like 4 matches. It was like a 128 draw, and started on Thursday. So we went to another tournament in Munich, which was the same week. And I qualified, got to the semis, and I had a special absent for the French Open, which I didn't get because I didn't enter the tournament. And as the trip to Europe came within 1 week, So to make it short, I got to August to play the U.S. Open, and the coach came to pick me up, and I say, I'm not going. I'm 19 in the world right now. It's I'm going to make tennis my life now. And he goes, so no college. And I say, well, not this time.
How would you say things are today compared to then? What are the big differences, particularly regarding, say, the other players? I mean, I saw you tweeting recently about Vitas Gerulaitis and, of course, John McEnroe and Jimmy Connors. Tell me about the atmosphere on the tour then and how you think it is today in comparison.
Well, I cannot relate too much to now. I haven't been much at the locker room, so I don't know. Well, although I played seniors doubles at the French and at the U.S. Open. I was with for a little while and went to Australia, went to Miami and Indian Wells. So there are teams now. So, you have 3, 4, 5 people with you all the time. The least you have in the big tournaments is 2. So that makes 3 people, and that's enough for social life on tour. Before you used to travel more alone, or you had your coach. At first, when I didn't have a coach all the time, the South Americans, we used to stay together a lot and have dinners with some of the older guys, and that was a good school for me. I met guys like Jaime Fillol or Carlos Kirchmeier or Jose Damiani, Ivan Molina. Those guys. They were those were the guys I was looking at them when I was growing up, watching them play South American championships. And then first I realized that if I wanted to concentrate more on my tennis, I needed to be more by myself. And then with my coach, we kind of separated. We didn't separate, all the time, but we tried to do more things separated than with a lot of people. Dinners just to get how much everybody has to pay. So it's and that took time, and so you needed to do something different. And I think I see that on guys like Connors or McEnroe. Even if I was, a new John since we were 15, we seldom have dinner together or something like that, or Yannick, which is or actually I have more dinners with Lendl than with some of these guys, and we played doubles with him, and sometimes we were in Asia and needed to. I usually wanted to take some time off from my coach in a couple of weeks in Asia and be by myself, and I like to be by myself too. And now it's just unheard of that you want to go to 1 week without your coach. You depend so much on the coach and the team around you, which is good. That's that's a big change. So the teams stay together. If you see the top names are like the big 3, they see the box, and that you see the same people week after week. So everybody's is together. That's a big difference now on how they get along on court. There's a lot of more things to do. There's you get the physio, you get the physical trainer, you get the massage, and so you have a full day of that. Before you needed to have a massage. You get your own massage, and you have to set your time. So it was impossible to do it like every day. Now, all the players, and I'm not talking about the big ones, even the guys that are, within the 200, they have the coach all the time or the physio all the time with them. So it's changed, and that's good, because that means that the quality of the athletes is improving and getting better.
Okay, let's look at your French Open run. I saw that you dropped, I think, 3 or 4 sets all the way to the final. I mean, you had a walkover in one round. What are your memories about that year, 1990? Did you think this is going to be my year? This is going to be the time I'm going to going to finally win the French Open, or did you looking back, was there any difference that year compared to other years?
Yeah. Well, first of all, when I was 22, I won the Italian. And right then, the week after, I have a chance to win the French. That was the first time that I realized that I had to win the French Open. And from every year that I won, from 82 to 90 and even 91 or 92, when I last played, I also had a chance to win it. There were years that I came in and I felt that I had a better chance than in 90. 84, 86, but somehow I got Lendl on my way all the time. I lost to him 3 times, or I lost to him 4 times, 3 times or 4 times in the quarterfinals.
Okay.
I lost to him, and out of those 3 times, I think he won there twice.
Okay.
And I lost in 1 finals, maybe. I'm not sure anymore if he won all 3 times. So as I always said, why can't I go in the other half? Why can't I be in the other half? Maybe I was out, I wouldn't be out earlier. I don't know, but I was stuck with him, and not only with him. The problem was 1 year, 86, I think it was. I beat Ken Carson in 4 sets, which was tough. Beat Jay Berger in 5 sets, and beat Emilio Sanchez in 5 sets. And when I got to the quarters, I had my tank was empty.
Okay.
84, maybe that was the time that it was the best chance I had, because I went into the quarters against him, winning in straight sets. And I lost in 4 tie sets, and then of course that was the year that he beat McEnroe in the finals, and that was the first Grand Slam for him. And some of the other times I just run into players that play better than me that day. Leconte beat me 1 year. Lasik beat me another year. I lost to McNamara on that year that I won the French for the first time. Lost to him in 5 sets in the round of 16. But then we had a final Sunday in Rome, best of 5, and you start Tuesday in Roland Garros. So it was a tough 2 weeks to go. So when I won on 90, the first good scene that I saw when the list came out was Lendl wasn't in it. So I said, well, but that was a problem. Now you have to back up what you've been saying for the last 8 years, Lendl. Okay, now you have to back it up. And actually, I knew it even before that, because I was playing with Ivan we were playing in Tokyo the year before in October, playing the Asian part of the Asian tour in October, and no, actually was Barcelona the year before, and he goes, Andres, it's going to be next year, it's going to be your year. I'm going to concentrate on playing Wimbledon and trying to win the grass. And I say, come on, Ivan, we're playing on clay this week, the week after or 2 weeks after the US Open, and you want me to believe that you're not going to play the French? And I said, no, I'm not going to do it. So we left it at that in September, October, and that was it. When the start of the year, I was very well prepared. I was 30, which was more like 35 now, and and I started playing well at Australia, reached the round of 16s. Then I got to the finals in Philadelphia. I lost to Sampras. Of course, nobody knew Sampras then, and I did, but not many people knew him. He was 40 or 50 right at the time. So 18-year-old winning tournaments, it was like people say it was a bad loss for me, and he just beat me up in the finals and on the very fast Supreme Court. So all of a sudden, I'm starting to get confidence leading into the clay court season, which didn't start good. I went to Estoril. I went there 3 times. I lost there 3 times. First round, I love the place, but I could not play tennis there. I lost 3 first round matches every year. I went there. But went to Barcelona, which and beat Perez Roldan in the finals, and beat Chesnokov in the semifinals. So I was in good shape for the first tournament. I went to Monte Carlo, lost to Leconte, which and we won both matches to each other. So it wasn't matter who played better that day. And Leconte was always a tough player to beat when he was in form. Went and then took a couple of weeks off. Went to actually lost in Hamburg in round. Took a week off. Went to Rome and lost to Muster in the semifinals. And Muster was supposed to be the favorite and everybody's favorite to win the French with Agassi. So lost to him. I had like too much points and in semis and went to Paris early, a week, good practice, feel the courts, feel the ambience, and tennis was there, so that was not the problem. It was good that I didn't have to play the round of 16 in a way because it was one less match to play. Although in Rome I beat Gustafsson like 2-2, so he had a game that he didn't bother me at the time, and but I went from playing the round of 16s on Saturday to playing my quarterfinals on Wednesdays. It was very, very different atmosphere from what I left it. Having to go there and to play. I was supposed to play Monday. So we arranged for a court with ball boys and an umpire, and I had to play 2 sets with which I did play with Alberto Mancini, and so we had the same, like keeping what I was doing on matches, and it got me through, and then Friday it was strange, but I'm playing somebody that I like playing, and then Sunday I played somebody that I beat before. So it really was a toss who played better, and I felt all the way that I was playing better than them those 2 weeks.
I mean, there's a lot of big names in the world of tennis, as I can see in the quarterfinals. You've got Agassi and Chang. You've got Henri Leconte. You've got yourself, of course, Thomas Muster and Goran Ivanisevic. Maybe Ivanisevic on the clay. Maybe there's a better chance to beat him than on other surfaces. But you mentioned Thomas Muster, and I'm really interested in that because you said that you lost to him a few weeks before, and you had match points, I think you said as well. Did when you were going into that semi-final, were you remembering that match from a few weeks before?
Well, it happens that at the press conference in Rome, I went to the locker room, and Monster went straight to the press conference, and they called me up. So I went there, and I was kind of like waiting for him to finish, and then he proclaimed that he was the best player in the world on clay, this and that, and that he was. He beat me in 3 sets, and I had no chance against him in best of 5. That's good. So when I go on the press conference, they ask me, and no, they ask me, they tell me, this the movie. I say, well, I listen to it, so it's not that I know what you're doing. I say, but for myself, that. I wasn't interested in showing him. And back in 1990, there was a rumor that whoever won the Italian didn't win the French.
Okay.
Of course, we know who broke all that up and made that just a fun history about it now. So
Yeah, yeah.
So, but even Borg, the year who won the Italian, he lost at the French. So
Okay.
and I'm talking even Borg because in the 80s, 90s, when you say Borg, it's like when you say Nadal on clay. So
Yeah, regarding the final, Andreas, what about Agassi? He was quite sort of near the beginning of his career. I don't think he'd won a major title by that stage. Did you feel confident going into the final?
we played in Tokyo in '87 when he probably was 16 or 17, and we played in a really fast hard courts. And I beat him 2-0, like in 42 minutes or something like that. It wasn't one of his best matches, but he was a young player coming up, and his brother comes to me at the locker room and he goes, Andre hates playing lefties. And I say, well, okay. 3 years later, I remember that, and
Yeah.
I didn't like playing. And again, he was saying that he was going to run me on the court and get me tired and get me this and that, and I say, fine, it's good. I like to be on the not being the favorite.
Yeah.
The underdog. I like being the underdog in those situations. There are some players where I don't like being the underdog because they really made me pay every time I play Lendl. For it going into the match, but that didn't happen too often on tour. I beat him a few times, but not enough from what he beat me. I beat him in Washington or Barcelona, and he beat me 5 times at the French. He beat me twice at US Open, and beat me 3 times at the ATP Tour Finals or Masters. Where he was.
Do you have many clear memories, or do you watch the video often, or do you occasionally watch some clips from the final? I was watching, for example, the last game just the other day, and you had a smash, I think, sort of the penultimate point, I think was a smash. And I was thinking to myself, what is going through Andreas's head as the ball? Is your heart in your mouth? Are you thinking, don't mess this up? Are you feeling relaxed? Do you remember the smash I'm talking about? I think 2 points from the end of the match.
Big serve by Gómez, good return, but a great volley. But Agassi slides into the backhand for an unbelievable winner.
It was two-handed all the way. A quick wrist, quick hands of Agassi. It's 15-30.
I always think smash is one of those points where you're gonna show nerves. If you're nervous, the smash is when it might well get shown, and you put it away quite comfortably. And also then you finish the match with a winner as well.
Well, I don't quite recall the smash in the last game. I remember being down low 15 and then coming with. Oh yes, okay, now yeah, at 15:30.
Yeah, big
Uh,
point. Big point.
I hit a fan that it looked like it was going out, but it dropped in. I got over, but an overhead smash. It was a sure thing for me because that's something that I practice at the wall since I was 8 years old. Always a boom, boom, boom. And then when I went to Hopman's, the Australians were net rushers at the time. Emerson, Laver, Roswell, Hope, they all had great overhead. And we practice overheads every day, like you practice the serve or the forehand. These days, the players don't seem to practice too much overheads, and you can see it on the on matches where they not only hit deep defensive blocks, but they always try to go for the fast one, and knowing that the players they just rush into the net. But the other thing is that I play doubles a lot, so I got a lot of overheads, and I know I wasn't thinking, I'm going to mess up. It's one of those things that I probably don't recall too much, and that's good because I was concentrating on what I had to do. The last point of the match.
S'il vous plaît. Merci. S'il vous plaît, mesdames et messieurs, un petit peu de silence. Merci. Merci.
That was my way of living in tennis. That's serving my to the ad, serving wide, and then running around the forehand, hitting it down the line. So that was a no-brainer, and I didn't have to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I do. I don't know. They 1,000 times, and I don't know, 2,000 times. I play 1,000 matches. So I played more than that, so I gotta do it many times, and that's what I made my living in tennis, and so that was easy to follow, and that's when you say, okay, the practice and what you do in practice, and you just react to it and you do it. You don't think about it.
A lot of people, though, a lot of players will go away because their instinct, does go away from them during these big moments. I mean, you said that, this is what you did and this is how you played. But sometimes in the most high pressure of situations, we kind of go away from our principles a bit because of the doubt.
And then when you say, okay, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I serve here? No, you just got to go for what you have, and they expecting it probably. But my game kind of was some of the times I was hitting the shots you don't expect me to hit it, and that's why I could get players confused. Doing the things that I do at the time that I'm supposed to do, and the other way around. So if somebody's going to get confused, it's not going to be me, and I don't care, what people said. I took a chance and hit the wrong shot. And the other day I was watching a tape from '81 that I was playing Guillermo Vilas in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
This is a long time ago, small rackets, and Arthur Ashe was in the booth doing the match. And I was coming in and hitting and swinging, and of course, I was making some and hitting some, out of the stadium. But that's something that he was going, oh my God, this is crazy. It's such a low percentage shot that you don't have to do it. But it gave me a shot and tried to beat a guy that was a wall back then, and you need hack, and we were doing that with McEnroe in Europe, practicing in Europe. But I was hitting high topspin, and he was coming in and hitting the volley. So it's not how we're gonna beat him.
I've got one more question for you, Andres. What is it like as a parent of a tennis player, and what's that like?
Very difficult. It's very difficult. I try to first of all, I wanted to get my kids to learn how to play and learn how to compete till their first tournaments when they're 9 or 10, and then they can do what they like. They can play more, play less, whatever. But always keeping in mind that you wanted to have the opportunity to get a college education where you can, keep playing. And if you go to a good level of a university of college, you can improve on that. And if you think that the college is not the way to do it, good. And if you are too good to do it, then go on and win the NCAA's title, and then you're ready. It's been in the past, and it keeps happening. And I got kids that all went to school, went to college, they play tennis. Probably they don't play much tennis now that they do before, but they stay involved with the game. On the other hand, Emilio on the tour, he's been he's tough. He's got to carry a backpack with his expectations and other people's expectations regarding who he is, and he's been very good at it, and he's taking good control of what he can do or what he cannot do, and if that I need to leave him with somebody that can take him to where he wants to go. Good. Is he willing to have the advice from me? Good. But sometimes it's difficult being a parent. You go, wake up, go to school, eat your food, do your homework, and then hit forehand, hit backhand. It's kind of like the same order for 24 hours a day, and the relationship might get strained, and you just need to back. I don't know. That's what I've tried to do, but he knows that I'm always there, always ready to do what he wants me to do. If he doesn't want me to be around in tournaments, fine. That's no problem. It's his life. It's not my life anymore. It's his life, and he wants me to do it, to go then and be there. Perfect. I've been in a few tournaments with him. I've been in Davis Cup with him more than regular tournaments, and it's tough. It's not easy. It's not easy on him. So why would I have to be there and show my support if that is not going to be, it's going to be another pressure situation. If he feels that, I remember when he played the French juniors, he qualified, and we waiting for the court, and this is the first time, and I mean he's 14 years ago, 15 years ago. I was in the stands, and he was coming out of the. And he told me he's coming out of the locker rooms, and he's 20 photographers and freak him out, and so he needed to learn from those scenes. But I kept telling him, listen, yes, and I won the French. I did this, I did that, whatever. But also, it's a lot of people that doesn't care that what you need to do, or you don't show that you're my son, and you're gonna have to do the same things that I do. No, you can do it better. And there's a lot of things that he did much better than I did. And I'm not talking results, or because it's not only that. At the end of the time, it's going to be life, and you're going to learn from it, and you're going to be good at it. And that's what we're trying to do as parents, to get our kids to be level heads, and to know that you have to work and do a lot of things to get better, and be nice to people, and if they do that, then we start. Our job is not to get at least not my job is not to get my son to be a major champion. It's that we're going to try to do it, but it doesn't need to be a must.
Yeah. Andres, a big thank you for your time today. Wonderful speaking to you. French Open winner in 1990. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. And
if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.